as we approach the NFL draft, we're going to hear a lot of rumors, a lot of stuff coming through media, whether social media or off the TV. But a lot of this is hearsay, and a lot of people are just talking some noise, and they do not want to lead a trail of breadcrumbs. But I found something interesting on Twitter today that I think deserves a discussion, especially when it comes to the value around these wide receivers here. This is from Jim Nagy. The guy runs the Senior Bowl, and this guy is very senior heavy when it comes to prospects. Just watch his account throughout the offseason every year. You'll get what I'm saying. But here's something he just brought up today. One thing has become clear on all calls around the league the past couple weeks. NFL isn't nearly as high on these wide receivers as the media. Frequently, we see 4 to 5 wideouts and mocks, has spoken to numerous teams, and only one has a first-round grade, and that is Jackson Smith-Njigba. So there's a lot to unpack here, and looking at this objectively, one thing we've talked about here is this isn't a very strong wide receiver class. Not at the top, not in the middle, not at the bottom, but it does have a lot of values due to that and due to the strength of the running back class, especially for Dynasty fantasy football. So that's something that you can't really ignore, and it's something that doesn't disagree with us. However, it's hard to see these teams really coming up with the truth, really just being up front with you, especially when they don't really know you and they don't have to. They don't have to give you their business or anything like that. So one might be a little bit of an over-exaggeration, maybe 2, 3, maybe 2, 3, 4. We got to see 4 or 5 off the mocks. Yeah, it could be a little bit wide receiver heavy on those, but also the wide receiver position's holding more value as of late these last few years. So having a lot of good depth at the position, whether it's your wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, is something you want to have, especially if these wide receivers are getting big contracts once they hit. So you may want to draft a wide receiver in the first round, but this really isn't the greatest year to do so. I will agree on that. But when it comes to fantasy football, and when it comes to Dynasty fantasy football, just because they fall to the second round doesn't mean they're dead either. It does not mean they're dead either. You get to round 50, top 40-ish in the draft, you still got some hits there. You still got a lot of hits, not far off from the first rounders. And if these guys with the good profiles, say Jordan Addison, falls to 35 overall, what's the really big difference from 25 overall? What's the real big difference if Jalen Hyatt falls in the early second round versus late first round? There's really not that much, especially from a hit standpoint. When you really want to look at the hits, really, it's early first round. You'll still get your misses, but the early first rounds where you really will get those top hits. However, it's a mixed bag, and you're still getting a decent hit rate. Middle first round, late first round, early to mid second round, starts to taper off more in the mid to late second round, but around top 40, top 50 range is still a good range for us. We're not drafting for NFL teams. We're drafting for our Dynasty fantasy football teams, and we have decent hit rates here in the second round, especially the early portion of that. We do have our busts. We also have our busts in the first round. But with the guys that we already declared with good profiles, good metrics on the production, good athletic specs that we're already looking for, and if they fall 5 spots, they fall 6 spots, 8 spots, something like that, not really a detriment. Nothing really to worry about. It's not the round. It's more the range of the player when it comes to looking at the outcomes. It's something you want to look at. You're getting a lot of good wide receivers coming out. That's in the top 50 range when you look historically over like the last 10 years. You got a lot of good hit rates in the first round, obviously. Once we get round 3 and later, things get a little scary, and then we want to have some talks. In this type of draft, you just want to take the values as the values come. It's king running back this year, as we all know. The hit rates for that is going to be a lot different this year in the rounds compared to other years because there's so many of them. You can really be in the second round and be like, well, this guy's got a second round grade, but really I can pay a 5th round price tag and get this running back here with a 3rd round grade. So maybe I'll just hold on for a bit. Maybe I can do that. And these NFL teams know that. They'll get their 3 tech in the second round and then get their running back the next round or the round after and not take much off the top. There's not much of a haircut off of that. In retrospect, compared to other years, where if you waited a little longer on running back, you're scared. you're screwed. You're not doing so well. So it's a lot different this year because we're so deep at the running back position. Go back and look at the running back ranking videos. Listen to me talk through these guys, and there's a lot of talent on the board. So really, once you get into day 3, you really want to look at opportunity. Can these guys climb the depth chart quick where they're at, where sunk costs may not be a factor early on? How good is this prospect profile? Is this a running back that I want to hitch my wagon to? And you're going to want to diversify your portfolio because the hit rates start decreasing as we get in the 4th round. But this is the year where the back end of the draft is going to give you a few guys we just don't know, and the odds of all of them hitting isn't going to be good, but you know there's going to be a few guys that's going to give you a good return on investment when it comes to their draft capital, just because of how deep this class is. We didn't have many of these draft classes in our lifetime. We do not get many of these draft classes, so historically these hit rates are going to be all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a UDFA that does something. I would not be surprised if we get a running back that hits on us from every round of this draft. I wouldn't be surprised. Am I counting on it? No, but with how deep this class is, I would not be surprised. That doesn't mean you're banking on it. I always have double talk on this because some people don't understand what I'm talking about, because some people just live in absolutes. But this is a deep running back class, and that's all I'm trying to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below about these wide receivers, running back hit rates, and everything else. I want to hear about that. Make sure you smash that subscribe button on the way out. Smash that like button. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.